Are you undiagnosed? You're not sure what your gut symptoms mean or what gut issue you have, so you can make a plan of attack for ending this nightmare? Then watch this video. We're going to go over just about every single gut disease and condition that's out there. So I'm going to read the list really quick. I got a list to make sure I don't miss anything. SIBO, chronic diarrhea, chronic constipation, candida, celiac, leaky gut, stomach ulcers, H. pylori, heartburn, GERD, reflux, gastritis, Crohn's, colitis, all the colitises, diverticulitis, IBS, a perianal fistula, which is what I had. I had Crohn's and colitis and a perianal fistula. Lots of fun. Bile acid malabsorption, that was another thing that I had that doesn't get talked about much. I didn't even get diagnosed with that, and that was causing a lot of issues for a long time. Perianal abscess, hemorrhoids, and anal fissures. So we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. Guys, my name is Mike the Heal Your Gut Guy, and I used to have horrible Crohn's and colitis, and I fixed it by getting to the root cause. Go buy my program after this if you want to get better as fast as possible. My program is like the Rolls Royce of gut health programs. So, all right. So, SIBO stands for small intestinal bacteria overgrowth. And there's actually a new term that's popping up called small intestinal fungal overgrowth. Now, this is the small intestine right here. So, food comes down here, it goes into the stomach, it gets broken down, and then it gets digested and absorbed in the small intestine. And somebody with SIBO, they do this breathalyzer test thing, and they read your numbers and they say, oh, you have an overgrowth of bacteria in the small intestine, and that's what's causing your symptoms. Now, that's the main narrative, but I'm actually going to share with you what's actually going on here. I study Dr. Hammer's work. He was this brilliant German doctor. And he discovered everybody with something going on in their small intestine, or who had SIBO or SIFO, they would have a ring in their brain in the same location every single time. They always came in with symptoms after a traumatic event, every single time, even if the patient wasn't aware of it at the time. And so what happens is the intestines start to develop extra gut cells to help that person digest a stressful situation in their life. But more particularly, to get nerdy about it, and I go into details way more on my website and my program, these extra gut cells, Dr. Hammer tested them, and they produced more potent digestive juices to help digest and absorb this hard to digest thing. So the thing that they won't tell you about the SIBO breath test, some people will get really high numbers, yet they won't have any symptoms. And then other people will blow high numbers and then they'll have a ton of symptoms. Dr. Hammer explained that. So when someone's conflict active for the first time, when they're like really stressed out about, oh, my girlfriend broke up with me, and they don't have symptoms yet, developing extra gut cells doesn't hurt, doesn't really produce noticeable symptoms. But when the conflict gets resolved, let's say you break up with your crazy girlfriend and you find a new girlfriend, then the body goes, I don't need these extra gut cells anymore, and it starts to get rid of them, and it's a bloody, painful, mucousy process. And that's when somebody goes to the doctor and they're like, hey, there's blood flying out of my butt. Like, what's going on? And then your doctor, because he's an incompetent idiot, goes, well, I don't know. It's your job, dude. You should know how to do this. This is so simple, especially with the space age technology we have today. MRIs and CT scans are like wild that we can do that stuff, and yet they still can't get a proper diagnosis. It's so simple. So these bacteria, they make it sound like they're from outer space and that they're the enemy. But if you go down the terrain theory rabbit hole long enough, this doctor made a special microscope that could really look at cellular organs. And he noticed that these so-called bad bacteria and fungi were coming out of our own cells. Everywhere in the body, they were coming out of our own cells. So those extra bacteria and fungi are helping break down these extra gut cells we don't need anymore. That's why there's high levels. While we're conflict active, there'll be high levels because those bacteria and fungi are like they're getting ready to like tear away at the cells the second we don't need them. It's very hard to diagnose SIBO unless you're getting like a breathalyzer test and SIFO. Candida is very similar. And again, it's like hard to get like an official Candida diagnosis. They have breath tests for that, but I think the main way that they do it is with a stool test, and they see if there's Candida in your stool. The same principle applies. It's controlled by your brain. I bought Candida from a lab. It costs like $20. Go Google it. You can buy it, grow it on some bread, sprinkle different things on it, and see what kills it. Oregano oil, essential oil, just one drop of it, Candida won't grow at all. Even when it's this black, huge fungal mass that looks like it's from outer space and could take over the planet, one drop of oregano oil, essential oil, it will not grow back. I used to have like this protocol that was all about disinfecting and reculturing the gut. And I had people make sure they take it like 2 or 3 times a day so the gut was like extremely sterile, and then smash down a bunch of probiotics. People were not getting better. And then I took those same people and then I helped them get the stress in their life under control, and they got better. And these were people who tried everything. Blaming bacteria and fungi, blaming a messed up gut microbiome for your symptoms is like blaming firefighters for starting the fire. And it's kind of funny because germ theory is kind of like the most accepted theory for disease, even though there's almost no evidence to support it. And then the next group of people are the terrain theory, but again, they still attack this problem with a germ theory attitude. It's controlled from your brain, I'm telling you. I've seen people's symptoms stop overnight. Overnight. I'm not exaggerating when I say overnight. Like somebody going to the bathroom like 10, 20 times a day, they find a few PTSD triggers. They cut it back to like going only 2 or 3 times a day. That's like hours of your life back and hundreds of dollars of toilet paper every year, saved back in your pocket in one night. That's how your brain controls all of this. So let's talk about, so we covered Candida. Let's talk about diarrhea. What gives you diarrhea? Like, think about it for a second. What gives you diarrhea? What is going on with diarrhea? What is pushing, like, think about this in the wild. You just ran down, you're a cheetah, and you just ran down a gazelle. You just burned your 2,000 calories. And now you're eating, which in order, your pancreas and then all the muscles have to move. All stomach acid needs to be made. All this crazy stuff needs to happen just for you to digest some calories and get some nutrients. Why in the world would your body force it out? Why would your body do that? Why would it waste nutrients? Like it's a good recipe for starvation. Why would it do that? So what's really going on, like what's the biological purpose of diarrhea? It's to get crap out of you as fast as possible, or to get toxins out of you as fast as possible. And I know some of you are eating super clean. And I know some of you are looking at your friends and family and going, they're not eating stuff that's super clean and they're not getting diarrhea. They're like, their body's not ejecting those toxins. Like, what's going on? Notice your language. Oh, what a load of crap. My boss, he's just full of crap. My boss is just full of crap. What if your boss puts a bunch of crap on your desk you got to do today? Oh, you got to work this weekend. Oh my God, I have a vacation and plans. Nope, here's a bunch of crap. You want to get fired? Here's this crap. You got to do this crap this weekend. Your brain's going to go, oh my God, there's crap we need to get rid of, but we can't. Okay, put the intestines into overdrive and get rid of it. That's what's happening. There are muscles. It's actually showing it right here. There are muscles that go up and down, and side to side. And it can collapse in a second from a command from the brain. I think we got like 22 feet of small intestine, something like that. And then we got this colon right here. All it has to do is send one little signal, and this all collapses.